All right, we are live with Mark and special guest here.
Wait a minute. This is a runaway kid from Florida.
Oh, no, it's a crazy.
He's a runaway, this kid.
Yeah, Florida boy. What the hell do we have here?
This is Spider Boy. Wait a second.
Spider
Dad.
Rebooting my computer.
Spider Dad.
Who knows?
What is going on here? Oh, my God.
They'll let anybody in this room.
Oh, my God. Look at.
Well, I'll tell you the thing. I can't get my camera. Tell my camera I'm rebooting my computer.
So we have technical difficulties in front of us with the host of the house who has everything plugged in. We're on portable equipment and we're able to get it up, but who knows? What do we have going here?
Oh, he's going to headphones. Whoa.
Headphones are coming out.
Whoa.
What are you hiding from us?
Ethan, get over here.
Oh, my God. All right.
And take your smelly dog, too, Ethan. Come on. Oh, look, he perked up after I said that. He knew. Oh no, he's stretching. Oh no.
There's Winston.
There's Winston.
Okay, so it seems like we were just together on a show literally like 2 hours ago.
I know, we had to drive 800 miles to get here.
Yeah,
Echo, hold on.
Yeah, just
there we go. Okay. No, now I can hear you, but that doesn't matter.
That's fine. Hold on, I'll take
Forehead is very greasy. What's cool is I can see the Viva Frei reflection in the TV on your side.
There we go.
Well, that's better.
All right, so everybody tell us, can you hear us okay in the room without, is the echo gone now? Hopefully it's not as bad.
Sounds good.
Mic check 1, 2. Echo.
Hello, everybody. No, okay, good. Take care of it.
It's amazing that anything works. I'm in shock.
Occasionally I can get technical.
No. There's still echo. Watch this. Echo.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything.
You need headphones.
To hear the echo? I need echo?
No, there's echo.
Just turn down your volume.
No, I got headphones. It's not my volume.
But I have nothing coming out, so there's
no. The chat is saying echo.
Oh God.
Oh, see, look, that one guy.
Somebody said it.
Well, I didn't even share this yet.
We'll share it away. Okay, the other microphone's picking you up, so talk quieter, David. David will talk quietly into his microphone.
ASMR. No, I can still hear myself.
ASMR, because I'm totally into ASMR at this point.
Oh, Mark's an ASMR freak.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I didn't know what I got into like 6 months ago, but now I have a friend who's doing it all the time.
Oh.
Yes, I have a friend who's into it, making it her own.
Hold on a second. The echo is when I talk.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
So nobody hears your echoing right now.
The reason is because when you talk, it's coming through the microphone here. I've muted my microphone now. So when you talk, it's coming in both your input and through here.
I'll try the whisper mode.
Why don't we pick up where we left off today? What were we talking about in Miami?
I don't remember.
Oh, look at this.
What?
Here we go, Pat. You can go on. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
What's going on here? Anyway, is everything okay? Can we start or no?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
David, destination. What is it, bro?
I'm thinking of a way to figure out the echo. If I talk like this, there's no echo.
Okay, well, it's not echoing over here. We'll figure this out.
Right.
Okay. Maybe what I'll do is take my phone in another room and do the stream off the
lower
iPhone.
your volume a little bit on the thing.
Oh, that one's pretty good. The right wing echo chamber is alive.
That's
and
funny.
running.
That's funny.
That's good.
That's a keeper. Whoa! Now look at that.
I'll be back in a second. Hold on.
Where you going?
Yeah, echo cancellation. Okay, whatever. There was some news this week, allegedly.
About what?
I don't know. I heard some things happened. Was there a trial?
Which one? I can't keep up with this anymore. The Trump trial you're talking about with the girl, with the woman?
Yeah, apparently. I hear that something happened with that, and I don't know what happened here. Auto tracking running amok. Yes. So Trump was
it's turning on
found
its own,
liable.
right? Yeah. He's found liable of what? Liable to get reelected? What's he liable of? Grabbing a woman in 1979?
Well, that's it. Okay. Supposedly he's liable, but he did not commit the 4-letter R word.
Right.
But he somehow defamed her. So what is it? Okay. So he's liable for assault, but not a complete assault. And he defamed her. I don't know how. Apparently, he defamed her by saying that it didn't happen. Which
All
is
I know is the
weird.
jury took less than 3 hours to come back and make a verdict on the case. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, that's completely important for them.
I just want to point out we're in Boca Raton, Florida, in case anybody's wondering why this is so weird.
We're at the Frei compound.
We're at the Frei secret underground compound. He's out there cooking a goat. I don't know what he's doing. And Hunley and I are in his studio, but we were in the local studio this afternoon in Miami Beach, where we recorded an interview with David at the local studio, which will be posted or is posted.
It's on Rumble right now.
Oh, it's on Rumble right now.
And they're locals.
Right.
And I did use the 360 cam for our locals people, and I'll try to put that up to where they can, look at it and navigate and see the different angles if you want to look at what the studio looked like.
Right. Oh, it's a great studio. A little weird neighborhood, but I guess that's an art district now in Miami. Some
a lot of graffiti. It reminds me a lot of Tucson because I grew up there. Well, only this is Cuban. I had Mexican.
Right.
Graffiti growing.
But there's a lot of restaurants. It's kind of an art district, Art Deco district now, and there's a lot of stores and shops and restaurants and stuff there. It's kind of cool. It's a gritty neighborhood, but it looks like it's being gentrified.
Of course, so they'll drive out all the culture that's fun, and then it should become pretty much. Well, Winston,
hold on. Let me let the dogs out.
Yeah.
Who let the dogs out? Go ahead, Winston. Go ahead.
Go ahead, find your way out, buddy.
Go ahead. Go with the dog that drags himself along the ground.
We are here with Winston and Pudge.
Oh, Pudge. I forgot the name of Pudge. There's one dog that just drags himself, and the other dog is blind. So, sad story here. I've notified the ASPCA secretly before the show started that we're taking these dogs away tomorrow.
We did not shark fish, and neither of us were used as chum.
Right.
And I don't think we will be. I don't know what's going on tomorrow other than we're going to be at an event with Alex Stein, Eric Trump, Mike Liddell. I don't know. It's like
possibly.
Maybe. Allegedly. Whatever it is. But did you look up that event online?
Yeah.
It has the most damn speakers I've ever seen.
Well, that's the traveling version of it. It's not they're all there. That's rotating across the country. I don't think they're all. Well, it's 2 days, day and night, Eric. So I could be wrong. It's 2 days, day and night. It's tonight and tomorrow, all day tomorrow, and all day today and tonight. So we could have gone. In theory, we should have gone tonight, but Stein is not doing anything until tomorrow, and he wanted us to see him because he's going to be a guest on Freeform Friday next Friday.
All right.
So I thought, look at this. Now he's somewhere else.
Okay, so this is how it's going to work. I'm up in my wife's office upstairs.
Where is it? What's he doing now?
I'm not sure, but now I got to turn the volume back up so I can hear him.
Okay.
All right, keep talking, David. Do I hear you?
This is good. There's no echo. I'm going to make sure the camera's right there.
Yep.
Okay.
Looking good.
This guy's a fanatic.
And by the way, guys, listen downstairs. Those are
you're upstairs. He's a maniac.
So what did I miss?
We were just talking about whatever is going on tonight. We're talking about the local studio and started briefly on the trial, the wonderful, very fair, fairest trial ever that happened this week with Trump and E. Jean Carroll.
It's amazing. It's like we're seeing Soviet level kangaroo. People think that a jury of your peers and it can justify anything. But when you go, you can now understand how certain defendants can never get a fair trial regardless, unless there's a change of venue, which is basically never recognized in the States anymore. It's a fascinating thing to watch.
Well, as Robert pointed out, it's like a black guy on trial in Alabama in 1958. Everything's reversed to that. And I'm not talking about race. I'm just talking about the fairness of any random court case now, especially in New York or the Southern District of New York or Washington, D.C., as Roberts pointed out, or L.A., where I am. I mean, these cases are insane. They're insane. Unless the Supreme Court can overturn a bunch of these, I don't know where we're going.
What's amazing is, like, in Quebec, we don't have juries for civil trials anymore. So, like, that concept is foreign to me. But yeah, you get DC, 95%. You're assured of political orientation, and these are political cases. So, yeah. I'm not sure what the solution is, but the problem is patently obvious.
Well, I think the solution is to have them overturned at a higher court.
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to ask Barnes on Sunday what the
that's the judicial solution that we have. We have no other solution. We can impeach judges, as Robert has pointed out. Federal judges can be impeached. I think probably state judges can be impeached. Has happened historically on many occasions. But the only alternative we have is this step-by-step higher court overturning of lower court cases, like Ninth Circuit and the Supreme Court. And
true, but the problem is on that. As my understanding under the law in the States is that there's a great amount of deference to jury verdicts because they're the ones who heard the evidence, which is the practical legal aspect. But then even the realistic aspect, it gets overturned. Good. They will never let go of the headline. He was found liable by a jury. I mean, they'll never let go of that. That is the political fodder that they wanted, even if it gets overturned. So overturning it is a Pyrrhic victory because it doesn't achieve anything.
Well, just to push back, I don't think it's going to move the needle because his supporters are so entrenched and the other side's so entrenched. I think they're fighting for the independents in the middle. That's the battle because he had 85 million voters, and Rich Barris and I discussed the fact that he may have picked up 15% more since the previous election. So he may end up with 105 to 110 million votes, which is almost insurmountable, David. What?
Yep. I mean, no. It's 81 million votes, more popular than Obama. Yeah.
Well, they both were more popular than Obama.
Yeah.
It is.
Number two in history were the same election.
Right.
Mm. And I hope people reading the headlines follow the trial because it's the evidence that was allowed is preposterous. The evidence that was not allowed, I think, was more relevant in terms of its probative value versus prejudicial value. The woman's cat was named Vagina. And we're to believe that there's nothing of a fantasy happening here.
There's nothing wrong with that. I had a dog named Penis.
I had a dog with a penis, but we didn't name him. I mean, we did. What did we do? We had one named Judge. I mean, I guess that's important. By the way, is my dog in the room with you guys downstairs?
No, he was starting to bark and smell, and
yeah,
I don't know what else he was doing. He was humping my leg. He thought I was some friend of yours.
He can't see, he has to feel his way around.
He felt his way.
He goes by smell. Mark, if he was humping you, it means you smell good. You should take that as a very flattering.
I'm going to see him later, he said after the show.
Yeah, he's going to be.
But what are we having for dinner? Alligator or gazelle or what's it?
Iguana. We were looking.
No, we couldn't find iguana. I went back to Easy Meats.
You're serious?
Oh no, I got good meat. We got good meat at Easy Meats. So we got New York strip, rib steaks, and ribeye.
Okay. Well, at one time I was in the Everglades with a friend, Billy Weed, aka Willie Weed, and we were on board an airboat, and the blade hit a gator, and the guy dragged the gator on board the airboat, took it back, and his girlfriend cooked it, and we ate the gator that night.
That's amazing, unless it's concealing it.
But he was mad that the wooden blade propeller broke because of the gator, and he kept hitting the gator with the propeller. It was already dead, the gator, but he was so angry that he kept hitting it with the blade or propeller, and then his girlfriend cooked it up. And I have to tell you, it did taste like chicken.
I had gator twice in Canada. It was farmed South African gator, and it tasted like what I had was chicken with maybe a little bit of fish. I don't know that I cooked it all that properly because I might have overcooked it and it was not so tender. But I want to try some gator down here, and I want to try some iguana. Apparently, it's called the chicken of the trees. So
Right.
Chicken of the place.
Chicken of the tree. Tree chicken.
I'm not joking, Eric. Like that's what I asked him. Like, yeah, chicken of the trees, or like the tuna of the trees, or something like that.
You know, are you actually holding your iPhone like that?
I am. It's hurting my arm too.
I was gonna say I am so impressed that you can sit there and hold your phone like that.
Let me see if I can
more than 2 minutes.
Let me see if I can get it to stay. The lighting is going to be
Oh, don't breathe.
That was noise was a chair. All right, here we go.
Wow.
Do I look crazy? Like, do I look like yellow?
Yeah, absolutely.
You look like a guy who escaped a butter commercial and just started running on a horse, jumped on the back of a horse, and rode on the beach.
Oh gosh, maybe I'll back up like this.
No, I'm calling you Vivio, kind of like Flavio, but Vivio.
Yeah, if I open up the now my wife just came into her office. Mark, I was confused about something earlier today about the MK Ultra LSD acid thing about in the 70s or late 60s, whatever.
Right.
That was the CIA that was like basically testing it on people. So they're like, hey, we got a new drug. Who wants recruiting people? And that's what. Okay.
Yeah, that's how it spread into the pop culture. In fact, there was a psychiatrist, very famous psychiatrist in the Hollywood Hills named Oscar Janiga. And Oscar Janiga led Hollywood celebrities like Cary Grant and others on acid trips in his office. So with Oscar Janiga, the LSD spreads into the Hollywood upper crust celebrity community. And then there's other levels, like I was talking to you about, in terms of Ken Kesey coming through the door up north through Stanford and through the Haight-Ashbury Free Clinic, which a lot of people got acid through there. And so on multiple levels, and yeah, absolutely, the CIA is the reason that it spread through the culture. And the acid tests that were held up in San Francisco that Kesey and the Merry Pranksters had the Grateful Dead play at, the Grateful Dead were friends with Owsley, and Owsley created his own acid, and that spread through the West Coast. Owsley's acid was Owsley Blues, and he was one of the ones who designed the Grateful Dead Wall of Sound.
Now, you bring up the Grateful Dead, and now that I think I remember people saying that the Grateful Dead had ties to intelligence, is there any connection between the Grateful Dead and intelligence?
No, the only connection is through Owsley, who made his own acid, and the Grateful Dead were able to spread the acid across the country because Owsley Blues became the purest form of LSD at the time. So, yeah, I mean, not that there's an intelligence connection to that, but Owsley and the CIA, Owsley was mixing up his own batches of lysergic acid. But like I said to you in the previous episode with Sidney Gottlieb, the CIA bought up all the available LSD on the planet Earth, partially to stop their fear that the Soviets would get their hands on it. This was all in their own minds, of course. The Soviets, as far as I know, were not trying to get the acid that the CIA was trying to get.
And I had one more question about the acid. For those who have no experience with it, it lasts a long time, the effect?
Yeah, it could last up to 8 hours. I mean, it's a long trip. I mean, that's why they call it a trip, because the length of it is unlike any other drug ever invented. Like you can literally be on it for 10 hours and longer, depending on the amount you take. You could take a massive dose, be on it for a couple of days. And I've never done that, but certainly 8 hours is 6 to 8 hours is kind of standard.
That sounds like the biggest nightmare conceivable for me. When you're on it, is it like a DMT or a salvia, like detached from reality where you don't know that you're on drugs?
No. It's completely different than that. I mean, you can operate, you can function on it. You could see some optical illusions. You know, you could see some things that may not appear to be real, but you feel like first of all, you feel like an electric charge going through your body when it first hits you, which may take a half an hour, by the way, until it hits you. And depending on the amount you take, I would say an average dose is about 250 micrograms. And many of the acid aficionados who follow our show will know about 1,000 microgram window pane, which I used to make and sell LSD, which we've talked about on episodes of America's Untold Stories. So I seem to know a little bit about it. An acid dealer, an acid taker, and an acid maker.
You had to test your product.
Well, no, many times I did. Yeah. Like
what is the window? What's the
even liquid acid, which I've done liquid acid with Senator Al Franken, who I ran into last month up by the Greek Theater. Senator Al Franken and I did liquid acid together at a burnathon, at a thing called the Burnathon in upstate New York.
He wasn't a senator at the time.
No, he was at SNL at the time, and you were mentioning that Harriet Tubman was a writer on SNL, the one who sued Trump, and that's where I met Trump, was at an SNL party, ironically. And Franken and Davis and Dan Aykroyd was there, and we were all on liquid acid at the time.
You said something about
unless she might have been there. I don't even know. That's odd. She might have been there.
Hold on, 1,000 microgram window pane.
Yeah, so window
250s.
Window pane
okay.
is like a little gel tab that has to be refrigerated, that you've put some liquid acid onto, and it's got to remain refrigerated, otherwise it'll dissipate. Blotter acid is really just a drop of liquid acid onto a piece of paper, where you can have little dots of it, and it's all like about 250 micrograms for blotter.
I'll just say I had a friend in high school who had a sheet of acid in his pocket, and it rained, and then he said that it got absorbed into his skin, and he was on like a multi-day not pleasant experience. That sounds like that's torture. That actually sounds to me like not fun.
No group pushed it more into the American culture than the Grateful Dead. That's how it really dissipated into the hinterlands, into the Midwest, into the other portions of the country. The original stuff was through these acid tests, or the government's actual tests, which were before the acid tests.
That's amazing. And then, who said something there?
No, we're talking among ourselves.
I was getting in our stream today for a second. I mixed up the Unabomber with the Oklahoma City bomber.
Yeah,
the Oklahoma City bomber, was he an MK Ultra? Did they test on him too?
I've never heard that.
There are people who are saying there's some weird government stuff that was going on, but I don't know the details.
I don't know. I don't know.
Barnes, I think, has a hush hush on it, and I just
there was some definite suspicious absence or convenient absence of people, but I was just wondering if MK Ultra had infiltrated. Forget the guy's name now.
MK Ultra was technically done at the time.
Yeah, that was done. It was finished by then. But I think, like I said to you this afternoon, I think there's an MK Ultra 2 program going on with such situations as the TDS and other situations.
Well, the QAnon itself, whether or not that's MK Ultra, that definitely has the hallmarks now where we're looking through history of a suspicious movement.
Well, I mean, a lot of these things, if you remember Charlotte with those tiki torches that they had, where did they come from? Where did they go? Where's their headquarters? Where's their newsletter? Where's their website? All of that stuff that happened in Charlotte seemed to be a staged event.
Ask Nick Fuentes.
Yeah.
By the way, to reach back a little, I saw this. Rest in peace, Gordon Lightfoot. Very sad loss there. But the song Sundown was written about Kathy Smith, who was with John Belushi when he passed away.
Okay. So I mean, it's funny because they blame Kathy Smith. I mean, Belushi was doing so many drugs. She just happened to be there like Russian roulette. I never blamed Kathy Smith for John Belushi's death.
Hold on, Belushi died of an overdose. Did he choke on his vomit?
Yeah.
No. He died of an overdose, but Kathy Smith was shooting dope with him, and people blamed her for his death. It's one of these celebrity things where they blame who's ever with you, for your
speedball, right?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, a speedball was really dangerous from what I understand. And a lot of people die. It was like the fentanyl of the time.
Right. It could lead to death in the heart, as a jolt.
Hunley, Groubert, I don't know if you talked about it. Did you ever talk about Kurt Cobain, Nirvana? Because I remember when he died,
No.
blaming herself for his death.
No, I've had somebody on who blames her and says that she was tied to CIA as a prostitute, etc. But the same person I had on, I will have to say, blames a lot of people for a lot of things. So I kind of want to say, okay, I hear it all. I'm listening, but I really would want to research a little further, because there's always the trap of, if just because one thing's a conspiracy doesn't mean everything is a conspiracy. And this individual was saying that John Lennon was tied to the CIA, he was dosed with mamas and the papas, and I mean, he just went on and on. It was ongoing, all kinds of stuff, and it included her being a prostitute.
I'm going to try to center my chair here without knocking the phone over. There we go. I had another question. Groubert.
What?
The guy who sang the music, the soft music, who stabbed himself allegedly in the chest twice, and you were trying to. Any progress, any developments on that? Well, I guess you should probably set the context for the question, but.
Well, no, I mean, I like I said, there was an original trying to get this into a like a true crime docuseries for Netflix. Now there's another company looking at it, a Netflix-like company. It's not Netflix itself, but yeah, that's why I didn't want you to give up that footage.
All right, well, yeah, I didn't get the memo, dude. See, I can learn from the show too, because he doesn't always tell me.
Well, no, I mean, it's a strange case, because the idea that Elliott Smith in broad daylight on a Friday, when he was about to go on tour in a couple of weeks to Europe, would stab himself in the heart twice with a giant butcher knife.
Both fatal.
Both fatal stabbings on a Friday afternoon with no drugs in you. That's a stretch. And you're dumping your girlfriend, who has a history of knife use, who's a heroin addict, who's in your bathroom and living with you, and is your drug dealer. That's a stretch. I mean, it's currently still an open case with LAPD as to whether it's a homicide or a suicide. It's still open. The LAPD and the coroner was still leaning towards homicide. If you look at the coroner's report.
And the weird part of it is that not only did he stab himself in the chest twice, he also tried to run across the place and jump out the window over the balcony. Yeah. Because, I mean, but between, two double fatal stab wounds, you want to run over. Yeah,
he was the Bob Dylan of his era, Elliott Smith. I mean, his songs live on, legendary cult of fans. His songs are used. You'll hear them. You won't even know they're Elliott Smith songs, and all these different TV police dramas that are on network television. His songs are ubiquitous in terms of.
I discovered it. His songs were in Good Will Hunting.
Oh yeah.
I think a number of the P.T. Anderson movies. Royal Tenenbaum.
Royal Tenenbaums. Yep. Yeah. Almost all the songs on Royal Tenenbaums are Elliott Smith songs.
Yeah, I had no idea.
He got nominated for an Oscar with Good Will Hunting for Best Original Song. He opened up the Academy Awards that night in front of 1 billion people worldwide, singing Ms. Misery, one of his songs. However, he got addicted to drugs like many music and rock stars do, and he got clean. And the woman who was in his life did not get clean. And it's hard to believe that the guy stabbed himself twice in the heart. That you'll never convince me that happened.
And it hasn't been ruled a suicide, by the way.
Right.
It's ruled inconclusive.
No, it's just an open case. It's not a ruling. There's no ruling on it.
Yeah. That. I mean, I don't understand that, but then I don't understand how the one of the Clinton body counts, who was found in a field tied up with two shotgun blasts, things on his wrist, was ruled a suicide either. But
we went to the LBJ school.
We were covering the John Connolly episode this week. We did an episode on former governor of Texas, John Connolly, and his daughter was 15 years old, got pregnant, eloped with the son of I.B. Hale, who was an FBI agent, somehow ended up in Tallahassee, Florida, in a motel in 1958, and accidentally blew her head, or the back of her head off, with a shotgun. And there was an inquest, and both of them showed up, Hale and Governor Connolly. This was before he was governor. And he was released, and they said it was an accidental discharge of a shotgun. But it was in back of her head, so it was tough to.
Yeah, hey, as that goes, it's like limber.
Yeah.
So this is taking a dark turn. What is the next question you had?
Yeah, the Prince of Darkness today.
Let me think of something a little lighter. hold on. I'm going to go back to the acid, but I don't even know if I can ask you this. I mean, Eric, I think I know the answer for you, but Mark, have you ever tried the DMT or the salvia or the really outlandish stuff?
It's after my time. I DMT. Did I ever try DMT?
That's a Rogan thing. I
never had DMT.
I watched the movie Enter the Void, which is Gaspar Noé, where they say the first.
I never had salvia either.
Oh God, there used to be a channel on YouTube where the guy would do salvia and then try to like write a letter to the senator, do gardening, and he would do it. I mean, it's nightmare stuff. Like it's the stuff that would actually deter people from doing drugs. He would take one puff or one hit, hold it for 30 seconds, start writing a letter to his senator, and then turn into like a ball of gelatinous, non-functional mush.
Well, but they have bath salts here, not just here in Florida, but I mean, there's bath salts scattered across the country.
What are bath salts?
It's, I don't really know what they are, but I know they turn you into a face-eating cannibal.
Yeah, no, I think, and Chad can probably correct me, I think it's actual bath salts that people smoke them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
I mean, put it this way. I mean, I started using drugs. The first thing I ever used was Carbona, which was a rug cleaner. And now people use dust off. Kids who use dust off all the time to get into an altered state of consciousness. But I started with a rug cleaner.
Yeah, the guy who's in what? Aaron. He just died like last November. Aaron Carter.
Oh, yeah, Aaron.
He was huffing.
Yeah, he was huffing when he went out.
At the end, and really messed up.
Right.
It's like that computer cleaner seems to be
right.
very
the
strong.
rug cleaner, Carbona. I talked to Joey Ramone of the Ramones one time, and he had also started with rug cleaner. A lot of people in Queens and Brooklyn at that time started with rug cleaner. Wow. And then graduated to glue. Glue was very popular.
I don't know. I don't know what the appeal is there. I mean, but then, I do like gin, but that's sort of easier to modulate the amounts.
Oh, when you're 13, you can't just walk into a bar and say, I'd like a gin and tonic. So
when I was 13, my grandmother used to smoke. She used to get a gin on what is it called, in bulk, and so she would fill up these like the old 1.5 liter glass Coke bottles, and they would be sitting in our house, and there'd be like 15 bottles there. Nobody knew they were there, and we used to go crazy when my parents were out of town. But good times.
Yeah.
No glue and no salvia. Okay, now I'll ask another question. Are you familiar with the film director Gaspar Noé? He directed Irreversible, Enter the Void.
Wait, I think I've seen Irreversible.
With Monica Bellucci and the other French actor. It was like one of the most controversial movies ever made.
Irreversible is, or
yeah, Irreversible. It was like it had a tremendous scene of violence and sexual violence, and
maybe that's why I didn't watch it. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's a traumatizing movie. But I always wonder if these directors who direct these, like, Cannibal Corpse, are they sick? Are they is the passion for their art reflected in their daily life, or are they just like normal people who just?
We were watching a documentary on Harmony Korine the other day, who did Kids, and it was actually Larry Clark directed it, but Harmony wrote it. And he said, yeah, he was a skateboarder, and he was looking for violence and distortion his whole young life, and gravitated towards violence and distortion, even as a director and a writer, because that's the direction he wanted to go in, and he lived that life.
Have you seen Last House on the Left?
No.
That the original Last House on the Left by Wes Craven is the movie that creeped me out big time.
Yeah, my mother said it's the worst movie she's ever seen. She's never seen Irreversible, but I'm not watching it. Kids, for anybody who doesn't know, that was the movie with like kids doing dirty things, but they were actually using young actors for the movie, right? It wasn't like they were not
together in Washington Square Park, and Korine was going to NYU Film School at the time, which was right there.
Is that the dude who went on Letterman like stoned out of his mind?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, I just wonder. It was like
he was a skateboard punk kid who stumbled into filmmaking. Also did a film called Bully, which I recommend. Kids and Bully, I'd recommend both of them. They're both great little films.
Now let me ask another question. Let me think. Wes Craven, Groubert.
I'm not a horror aficionado, so I don't really know. I mean, I know the movies, but
well, Last House wasn't technically a horror, but it was the most horrible thing I've seen.
No, it's like a torture porn movie, like Saw or the other ones that The Hills Have Eyes, which I haven't seen either. But
what did I just see by Eli Roth was Green Inferno that I was telling you about. It's kind of like Cannibal Holocaust. Eli Roth directed this one about a bunch of climate change activists who go down to South America to confront the oil companies down there who are ruining the rainforest, but they get eaten by cannibals. So it's a fun time for everyone. It really is. It's a great little film.
Not watching it.
He did Hostel and some Hostel 1, Saw 1, Saw 2. Very violent films.
Do you know him too?
No, I don't. But he was in Inglourious Bastards as the Jewish Nazi killer. I don't know if you remember the.
Oh yeah, no, I remember. I think he was called the Bear in the movie.
Right. That's Eli Roth. That's based on a real guy.
Oh.
That Inglourious Bastards was based on a real group of Jews who fought the Nazis. That's what he was showing in that movie.
All right. I rewatched The Last Action Hero with Schwarzenegger and that kid.
Your son was telling. My friend Shane Black wrote that.
It's a great movie. Like it's better than I remembered it.
Yeah.
And, we just rewatched Independence Day yesterday after having accidentally bought the sequel, which I realized was not very good within 5 minutes, but I'll give it a chance anyhow. Good movies. I don't know. They don't seem to make. You watch a movie like Independence Day when they were not jamming down identity politics down your throat, but you had diversity nonetheless in the movie, and it didn't feel like it was in your face. I think, but maybe I'm.
Somebody told me yesterday that in Maverick, Top Gun Maverick, you never see the nationality of the enemy.
You don't. Nope.
No, but you knew it was Iran.
Really?
Was Iran or China?
More like Russia, I think. But
you don't see them, so.
Hold on a second. Now
Are there?
You don't see.
Think about it, David.
I need to because I thought it was Iran the entire time.
No.
You're projecting.
You're projecting your hatred for Iran.
I know. I don't understand that. I mean, but fortunately, our show's probably not popular in Iran, so you might be okay.
No. First of all, no. I'm going to go back. I have to go back and rewatch it now. They do not identify the enemy in that movie.
No, ever. There's not even insignias.
No. The only one.
I mean, keep in mind what happened in Red Dawn 2, where they had Chinese military insignias, and the Chinese forced them to take the insignias off and reshoot the entire movie, and they made them into Koreans.
Is the chat fact checking this? Is everyone out there saying that Maverick did not identify the country of the enemy?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, Rob A is claiming that it was Iran.
Okay,
because they had old Tomcats. That's a stretch. I know.
That's a lot of countries have old Tomcats.
I like Rob A. He's defending me here.
That's pretty old. That's weak sauce.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so the choice of plane is going to determine. Oh, okay, gotcha.
No, because we've sold those planes all over the world.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean,
it was a mountainous area. They had to go over the Andes. I can't even think of the mountain range now. Never mind. Okay,
right. You don't know.
I have to go back. I don't believe you. I'm going to go Google this after. I'm going to come downstairs on my computer in the office and Google.
I'll meet you halfway on this one.
Iran was the only foreign country to receive the F-14.
Okay. Yeah,
I think we're being trolled here.
Yeah.
Damn it.
But yeah, in Red Dawn 2, they had to famously go back and reshoot the movie, making the soldiers, planes, everything have the insignias of the Korean army instead of the Chinese army in order to gain entrance into the Chinese film market. And when they were done reshooting it, which took a couple of months, they then presented the film to the Chinese film committee, who told them to go F themselves. We're not letting you in anyway.
Which is great.
So they were kind of pranked by the Chinese Communist Party.
It's actually similar to what's happened with Anheuser-Busch.
Oh, with Mulvaney.
Yeah, because they've gotten their ass handed to them
Yeah.
by their consumer base.
Right.
And when they're trying to backpedal and not lose all their market share, well, then the LGBTQ community is saying, "Oh, we won't sell that." In the Chicago gay bars are pushing them out, so they're hated by everyone.
Wow.
And I love it because they deserve it. If you're going to make a cynical move to try to get cheap virtue signaling points, then you should suffer and market share.
It's why you don't get political when you're a corporation. You get political, you lose one side, you try to apologize, you lose at the other side, and then you have nothing. It's sort of like what CNN is now dealing with after having invited Trump on. Have you seen Anderson Cooper's groveling 2-minute 15
They're all
seconds?
going crazy. In fact, Chris Licht, the CEO, said they have to grow up and that there's money in these ratings boosts that he provided, and they're just having a temper tantrum over there.
We had to stay with him. Yeah.
No, but to me, when you get the Mehdi Hassans, the Rob Reiners, the who are the other ones that I was replying to? George Takei's. It's an outrage that you should give a voice.
Yeah.
But then Anderson Cooper's own defense is the most patronizing, insulting, demeaning defense. It was terrible. He was lying, and he represents awful people, but they represent half of America. I mean, can I swear? No, I won't. Go after yourself, Anderson. Like, first of all, he says that Trump lied through his teeth, lie after lie after lie after lie. That's a lie.
What are the lies?
What are the lies? Tell us the lies. Oh, and the room was filled with his sycophants, but they represent half of America.
They're called voters.
No, Anderson Cooper's, and first of all, Anderson Cooper, I don't judge people by their exterior. He's not looking good. He looks old, haggard, and tired. And it's like, I think a life of lies and deceit ends up weighing on you, which is why, Mark, you look young and refreshed, and I'm still trying to figure out how old you are. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Well, his brother got up from the Thanksgiving night dinner one night and ran and jumped out the window and killed himself.
Wait, say what you just said again. I think I missed the first part.
Okay, it was Thanksgiving dinner. I think it's on Fifth Avenue. Of course, his mother's Gloria Vanderbilt. Of course, Anderson Cooper went to summer school for the CIA. Of course, Anderson Cooper was a male model, and his brother had some mental problems, got up from the dinner table for Thanksgiving dinner, ran and jumped out the window.
He defenestrated himself.
Yeah.
That's among the most horrific.
It's true.
It's horrific.
Yep.
It's horrific. But I mean, what I'm saying is you have to take care, as Jordan Peterson would say, you've got to clean up your own room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're going to lash out at other people's lifestyles, you have to take care of your own home front.
And his mother was Vanderbilt from Vanderbilt Industries?
Gloria Vanderbilt.
Yeah, from the railroad barons of
all the way down.
I made a Seinfeld joke. Say Vandalay Industries. Say Vandalay Industries. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Latex.
By the way, circling back on Anheuser-Busch, the guy who did their ad campaigns came out and said that they managed in 1 week to lose 20 years.
Yeah. Of work.
The terrible thing is
because they went from a new product to be number one on the market.
Right. To explain to the viewers at home, the ESG rating, they through BlackRock and other organizations, they have a committee that goes around and visits your corporation and points out how you can improve your social credit score as a corporation. So they hire these diversity officers and they put on things like Dylan Mulvaney to improve and increase their own social credit score. And it's a type of shakedown, like an Al Capone style shakedown, a protection racket. This ESG stuff being pushed by BlackRock is really a shakedown. It's a mob shakedown.
Ramaswamy has been hot on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He wrote the book Woke Incorporated.
Oh, right.
He is kind of the number one guy,
right?
Who's been hammering about ESG.
Right.
As you say that, and it gets me like,
we're not gonna let him.
No, don't let him in.
Okay, sorry.
The dog or the kid?
No, the dog.
The dog. Winston.
You say that, it's interesting. Like when it illustrates like the risk of the absolute concentration of everything within a certain handful of corporations. Boycotting doesn't work when BlackRock owns everything. So boycott Anheuser-Busch and then go buy, I don't know, Guinness. I don't know who owns Guinness now. And you, okay, fine. Lost on one end.
What's InBev owns, well, Guinness, I think, is independent.
Bud is
No, I don't think so. I think it got bought up by the Japanese. I want to say Diageo, but I'm not sure that I'm right about that.
Isn't Budweiser owned by a Belgian company or?
But anyways, all I have to say is it's Fight Club. When a handful of corporations own everything, boycotting does nothing because you're just going to go buy one of their other products or one of their other entities. But that's
actually it is working because apparently Michelob sales have changed. All the other people know Anheuser-Busch and they're losing sales. Part of the reason is they did such a good job where people knew their market share and they knew who Anheuser-Busch was. They're getting hit hard now.
Well, now, like I said in the show this morning or this afternoon, there's someone named Queenie out of Texas who's transgender who went crazy at the Texas State Legislature, who was trying to pass legislation to ban child mutilation under the guise of trans surgery. And she had a meltdown and now apparently has gotten the endorsement of Smirnoff vodka.
Eric, are you able to pull up that video while we're doing this? I got to see that video because I haven't seen it.
Oh, I mean, I could look.
And while you do that, I was just about to say
Queenie. I think her name is Queenie.
It was on Twitter?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I just read the story.
Oh, and I'll tell you what I was about to say is like everybody's like worried about the hate that Mulvaney was getting from people on social media about the move. The biggest thing that Mulvaney's going to face is getting used and abused by these corporate interests who's like, oh, when you're popular, we'll want to have you on and exploit you. And then when it tanks, we're going to blame you and we're going to throw you under the bus. And that's where Mulvaney's going to really start feeling dejected. It's one thing to get, blowback on social media. It's another thing to actually, be blamed for the loss of a company. They have no problem exploiting people for as much as they can and then chuck them under the bus. And
by the way, folks, sorry to interrupt, but if you want to get your eyes seared out, just go on Twitter now and search for Queenie Space Trans.
It's so wrong. Don't do it.
It is bad. It will sear your eyes. I'm trying to.
I just got my eyes poked out.
I'm trying to do something for the community here, and I'm causing personal harm looking at Twitter. But I'm Queenie's Trans.
No,
you can suffer too.
Stop it.
I need to. I'll be back in a second, people. Hold on.
Don't do it, people. Don't do it.
No, trust me.
While you look for that, I'm gonna do it on this channel too. I'm thanking Murph's Kicks for these damn shoes. I stepped in gum, and then I peeled it off with my bare hands. And Eric, tell them the level of terror that you could. I touched someone else's gum.
He was very upset. He sat there and spit on his fingers and he rubbed it out and he wasn't sure what he was going to do. And I just said, look, dude, just throw them in the freezer in a bag.
Oh,
and he
that's
said,
a good idea.
Oh, hell no. I'm going to get this off now. Look, it's coming off. And he managed to smear gum all over his hand sideways. Yeah, he tried to wipe it off onto the concrete. I don't know. Are your fingers okay?
We did an episode on the history of gum, David. You may want to take a look at it.
You're going to do an episode on the history of germs, and I could feel the aura of someone else's saliva on my like radioactive material I just touched. It's someone else's gum. It's not easy. Now I've got to go look up. I got to go Google what you guys just Googled.
No, it wasn't Google. It was Twitter. All the fun stuff on Twitter. By the way, that's something that I shared with you last night. Have you seen the deep fake nudie shots, if you will, about AOC, which are AI created? I'm curious what your thoughts are because I could see this becoming a weird scenario.
I don't do that.
Well, who was it?
Can copy the voices of famous people?
Yes, I'm working with one right now.
Because somebody's working on that for a project of mine, and they said they could recreate the voices of like Oswald, and Orangeshield, and Ruby.
Yes. I can work on that too. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ironically
we'll talk about it tonight.
working on my own voice.
Okay.
Well, think about it. You could write a script and spit out a short video.
No, but I have 6 actors and 239 parts.
No, I get it. No,
6 actors are claiming that they can, through AI, be 239 parts.
Or you just leave the actors alone, write it down, and just have the AI do it. Yeah.
No, I can't go that far at this time. But I mean, the actors, if they use AI vocal voice technology, they can sound like famous people?
I don't know if they would. I'm just saying there's software out there that I'm experimenting right now where you could just feed in recordings of Oswald,
Right,
and it'll spit out Oswald saying stuff.
okay.
There was a mix-up or a mashup between was it Drake and Notorious B.I.G. where they made like great music. For those who don't know the dilemma now, there is like it just looks like a real picture of AOC on a topless body, and I heard someone else crying about it. And I'm not saying that to be mean, like deeply disturbed by it. It's kind of disturbing. Like forget we were talking about like revenge porn where it's actual photographs. You're gonna have like revenge fake AI porn. No one's gonna be able to tell the difference, and it's gonna serve even worse consequences because people might think it's real and the person will deny it and they won't believe them, or it might be real, the person denies it, nobody knows what to believe anymore. We're going to end up in a world where you can no longer even believe your eyes, and then the question is going to be like who can be guilty for generating it, for distributing it. Then it's going to be an issue, like at least in Canada, even creating fabricated images depicting underage relations is a criminal activity. So there's going to be a slew of legal, civil, criminal issues, and also just like moral, spiritual issues.
Or how about the meetings, where Trump and Putin are sitting on a bus bench, discussing world politics that they're going to just spit out.
Yeah, or fabricate war crime images.
Greta Thunberg, is that her name?
Yeah.
Thunberg.
She's apparently gained a lot of weight, and they put up pictures of her with a really fat face, and it turned out to be done by an app called Fatify. And she hasn't gained weight, and it was done by a thing called Fatify, which makes people look fat.
No, they get old too, so why not?
Right.
I can see on the AI front, I know a lot of people don't seem that interested in it in the audience, or our audience or mine, but I think there's so many ramifications. To me, this is as big as the internet circa 2000, and we can't get rid of it. So we got to figure out how to cope with it or incorporate it into our lives, because it's pretty remarkable. And then you have problems where it has an opinion. David, you shared that out earlier with that whole thing of, hey, AI, is it okay to be white? You should never talk about being white. Hey, AI, can I be proud to be black? Absolutely, you should be proud to be blah 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 blah.
I'll need to like fact check that or double check it myself. This came from someone in our locals community who's a long-time trustworthy member. Put in the question: is it okay to be white in AI? The answer was there's no reason to take pride in something that's beyond your control. Is it okay to be black? And then it says, absolutely celebrate your identity. It's part of what makes you who you are. It is what you would expect the intellectually dishonest answer to be. So, I mean, like ask a Democrat politician, that would be the answer. Same
thing with try telling a woman that she looks like Dylan Mulvaney and see if you don't get slapped in the face.
I wouldn't. I mean, look, the when Dylan went to whatever award show that was, and he was wearing the red dress. I knew someone who said that Dylan Mulvaney looked like one of his ex-girlfriends, and like that's which made him very conflicted about the Dylan Mulvaney thing. But
this morning, his family has deep money roots in San Diego. Used to own the San Diego Padres, from what I understand.
It's fascinating, but the AI imagery. I mean, at some point you're gonna have to say like, okay, well, there's going to be naked pictures of me out there, but you could do it now very well anyhow. I mean, you could have done Photoshop like that, very well, get a good picture, a naked body.
Well, the last time I'm in the Writers Guild, so the last time there was a strike, what came out of the strike was reality television. It may be what comes out of this strike is AI script writing.
Well, that's who was I just listening to? Oh, yeah, I was listening to Tim Dillon, his episode of The Negotiator. Was it him? Talking about how AI is going to replace all pretty much shitty sitcom writing, and it's pretty amazing. There's people who use AI to generate text that they read them. So what's gonna replace the AI element? It's going to be the human element, and there's something that, I mean, some humans are going to possess that are distinct from what AI can replicate, and others no, and then it's going to be a real turning point in society.
Very interesting. I ran the query, by the way, through ChatGPT, the ChatGPT 4, the newest version, and it didn't say the same thing, but it kind of did say the same thing. It just with much more flourishing words and lessons that were put forth just now. So very, very, very interesting.
Yeah, and then at the end it said, "You're an idiot, Hunley, for even asking me."
Yeah, well, I mean, it is personalized.
I know.
Yeah, it's like I said, can you answer this like Mark would?
Yeah,
and it.
Well, the sitcom thing is a no-brainer. I mean, those guys are toast. I mean, because that's such a formatted, easy thing to AI to do.
Better still, why not late night? We get rid of Colbert.
Well, that's a little bit more difficult because it's topical from the day. But sitcom writing itself is not so topical, so I think it would lend itself to AI. In general, and then with film, I guess it's possible if you could write me a film like William Goldman
or Stanley Kubrick,
right? You could, but it would. I think it would come out in the style of those people, more than the success. Well, they've done it. The success of those people.
I know. Ask AI to write a script for
a variant.
I mean, even when I was at National Lampoon, we used to write parodies of like different magazines, like Cosmo and the New York Times and Time Magazine. And we had to write in that style, David, of Cosmo for it to be effective, because each of these magazines had a style of writing. So we were AIing ourselves in a way back then.
Yeah, the writing will be AI generated, and the delivery is going to have to be someone who's charismatic with, Well,
I think it may be AI generated, and then writers will punch it up or go over it. Let me put it that way. But I mean, the amount of money that sitcom writers make is so off the charts in terms of money. They're so way overpaid that I think it may level the playing field.
Well, one thing it can't necessarily do that easily is come up with new premises. Mm-hmm. So I think the showrunners will still
the showrunners who are writers anyway. I mean, they can handle it without the 8 guys sitting with girls in the room all day and night.
Speaking of, this is not AI, but it is super chats, and we love super chats. So I want to go through some of these.
Okay.
We got Dan Bloomberg here. Explain.
I can't even read that.
Delivery to Bethesda. That's for Mark.
I think I've explained this before. The shipping caskets were not shipping caskets. They were body bags that were coming from Bethesda itself, which is a naval hospital that had a lot of corpses and a lot of brains. And I think it was more internal.
By the way, and on this note, while we're answering that, on Tuesday, I think we're going to do a JFK Q&A. So definitely have
save that for Tuesday, bro, because we're going to do a JFK Q&A on Tuesday.
For sure. And even if we've answered the question 100 times.
No. We'll get to it.
Let me try to read this. I'm going to focus my old geezer eyes without my graded life. I love your program. I loved kissy emoji K forward every week to see what women want. What women want men to act like women. That's why we like gay men.
Well, you are the right one to read that, David. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, who did I just? Oh no! I had a marathon interview with Unlearn Joe on Saturday night, where my question was like, living through the trans movement today is. She's a lesbian. She grew up gay, and the question is like, are gay people today, being told that they should be something else, and is this an attack on the gay movement?
What about just straight women?
Yes,
who are in the athletics field?
Well, no, they're no longer. I mean, because we celebrate the trans athletes, normal women athletes. They're push them out.
You should
David. Yes, you could tell me about your camera, which I've talked to you about, and we will work on his camera before I leave. Because he's reading.
First of all, I'm old. Now I'm going to take my glass off. I'm going to get in there.
Okay,
David, you should tell Eric about your bane of existence. That camera, he might be able to help you with that.
Yes, of course he can.
I'm going to show him. It's not. It's his fault. And by the way, the audio. I think the audio.
It's my credit. Yes, of course. I was brilliant. You're right. Thank you.
Hollywood squares of acid keep rolling that ice bar. Oh man,
what does that mean?
Hollywood squares of acid keep swirling that ice. Yeah, I like that. You were talking about the window pane and Hollywood squares. Very, very cool. Thank you, Justin. Pasha, I'm off again. Video shoot for a children's theater group. Have to catch the rest later. Oh, no Heroes of the Blues today.
No, I don't have the thing with me.
Yeah,
See, I read that as, is there a hot bod today? And I thought Pasha was talking about me. Like, okay.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Now, hold on, before you do this one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to duck out now and start the barbecue, gents. And I expect, at least Mark, you'll meet me in the pool.
Oh yeah, I'm getting in that pool. I'm getting
everybody. I'm out of here. I'm gonna like do my old thing, like peace out, booyah. And now you're gonna have to wait for me to shut my phone down while I figure this out. And is this even going to happen?
It's like kind of the booyah. Okay. All right. I haven't seen Gummo. Let me see.
Gummo's really good.
JS. Now
don't forget Spring Breakers, which I give another 2 thumbs up for Spring Breakers with James Franco.
Oh, okay.
Great movie.
JS. Nowadays, shows have a lot of stress characters, and they drill it in the story, aka Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. Okay, fair enough.
Wait a minute. What's going on here? You can't break the fourth wall like that.
I know. Holy cow! What the hell?
This is like Rod Serling.
Oh, I know. It's amazing.
Take the dog with you.
No, it's our dog. We're taking ownership. All right, John Renfro. He's correct. Only the U.S. and Iran flew the F-14. Iran still flies it today. Okay.
All right. We'll take your word for that.
I'm sure that Hollywood was very concerned about the legitimacy and said, you know what? We're not going to say Iran, but we'll make sure we only use the plane that is available when we're coordinating with the Navy for the purpose of our movie.
Well, the Navy had to vet that. Navy had to vet that script. All right, I'm coming, you blind bastard. The Navy had a vet. Oh, there it is. Okay, somebody's let him out.
Yeah, he did not like that. Hey, look, Georgina's back.
Oh my God.
Sorry I missed so many shows. I've been sick. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And we're happy to have you whenever you can listen, Georgina. Thank you very much. Ginger Ninja. Very much like my description of what David was doing with his gum on the shoe. You know, rubbing it out while wetting his finger. I mean, it's standard.
So dark.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, hey, it's a sidewalk.
So what does that say?
Kamala will fix it. I'm not sure what she will fix, but I guarantee whatever it will be done as a stick a fork in its ass and turn it over. BTK. If AI replaces you, it'll save barber expenses. Yeah, that's not really my worry.
Well, they know how to pay AI pensions. That's for sure. Pension and health, which is the biggest expense in Hollywood for writers and actors.
Very true. Wood Hippie, thoughts on the Natalie Wood accident? I actually will have somebody coming on my show talking about that who's studied it. I think it probably wasn't an accident, in your opinion.
My opinion, it was 3 drunks and a blackout. You know, that's what I think, on board a ship.
Okay, well, that would be an accident.
That's been my take on it. I mean,
so you don't think it was a specific murder?
No, I think it was just hijinks on the high seas.
Interesting. Okay. Let's see. I've got some local tips that have come in, and let me see.
Do you think?
Has Mark ever been in the store? Berghoff. Where the alleged Trump incident happened.
I have been in that store. Bergdorf Goodman?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And supposedly his dressing room is like an apartment or something. You know, it's not
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Okay.
There's some of these places have pretty big dressing rooms, but
some
of them they serve you wine in the dressing room.
What are our
changing room?
Oh, nice. What are our thoughts of the Trump town hall on CNN?
I didn't see it. I was in the air at the time, so I'm going to have to look at it. I've only read some transcripts of it, so I T-voted. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't either. And then Trip 2T. I'm having trouble reading off my phone. Man bites dog. Thank you very much. Twice. And then Pasha was saying, Eric, you, Mark, and Viva were talking about our current VP today. Here's the corresponding meme featuring everyone's buddy, Foghorn Leghorn.
Interesting.
So let me see. And that looks like that's all the tippers that are showing up on the phone.
What about this guy?
Well, I'm coming back.
I see.
I want to take care of Rumble. And
I see what you're doing. I got you.
All these, different sources here. Okay, no, nothing on Rumble. So We do have one more super chat here. Do you think RFK will make it to the election? Yes, I think the RFK will be alive for the election, if that's the question. I don't know that he is going to be a winner, but you know who is a winner? That would be Oswald.
Look at him. He looks better than Winston.
And
he looks a lot better than Winston.
Everybody screenshot this. This is Mark holding Oswald, the dog he hates. So I know Chris Bank is saying that. Okay, he's going to strangle Oswald, but that's fine. Oswald is going to be going home with Mark, whether he likes it or not. He'll be stuffed into a bag. And BTK, could RFK Jr. be a front for voters to stay as Dems before they dump him?
Stay as Dems before they dump him. I don't know what that means.
I see. To try to keep people in the fold, the Dershowitzes or whatever, that maybe they're going to leave. It's like, you got RFK as a candidate. You don't have to go over. I don't know.
Well, you're talking about multiple primaries and different dates over a long period of time across the country. It'll be a difficult maneuver. But
interesting.
I mean, their nightmare is to have him on a debate stage with Joe Biden and the others. But apparently, as of now, it's not going to happen. So, and then he hasn't picked a running mate either, right?
No, he hasn't.
No suggestion of a running mate.
No, he hasn't. Well, folks, my battery energy saver just got turned on, and it's telling me that we need to wrap it up. There's stakes in a swimming pool, I guess.
What?
Waiting for us. We will be heading out, and Tuesday, I will be back in Hampton Roads, but Mark will be on the road.
No, I'll be here.
Yeah, you'll be on the road. You're not in your home studio.
Right.
And we're going to be doing the JFK Q&A. I don't know if there will be a grill stream tomorrow, but I may be live streaming our event. I don't know what's going to happen, but
what, the Tuesday thing?
No,
tomorrow. You're talking about
tomorrow night. I will be either recording or live streaming. I don't know what I'm going to do there, but I'll do something and definitely try to do something cool for locals.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, everybody, have a fabulous evening.
And a good weekend.